Hey, welcome. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast for the 11th of August, 2014. Sit back, sit tight, and I'll be coming right up.
I knew it. This is an alien, and you guys are from some government agency trying to keep it under wraps.
I can't take it anymore!
You've got troubles, Mac.
Did you know that the first Matrix was designed to be a perfect human world where none suffered, where everyone would be happy? And it was a disaster. No one would accept the program. Entire crops were lost. Some believed that we lacked the programming language to describe your perfect world, but I believe that as a species, human beings define their reality through misery and suffering. So the perfect world was a dream that your primitive cerebrum kept trying to wake up from, which is why the Matrix was redesigned to this, the peak of your civilization.
So this is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
Welcome to the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. How you all doing today? Are you happening? It's Monday. You're awake. You're there. Yes, it's Monday. Does it suck? I mean, do you hear Garfield in your head saying, I hate Mondays? I know a lot of people like that. Hey, today we've got just a full itinerary of articles. We got rioting in Ferguson, Missouri, because apparently the story is, two stories have come out of there, and one is police shot an unarmed 18-year-old. Obviously that is like the big thing, but he was black, and some of the other stories behind that say that he tried to take the gun away from the cop, and the cop shot him. Well, okay, but think of it this way. The most dramatic, sensationalized depiction of this whole thing will be on the front page or the lead story in the news. So, and it's all based on race. It's all based on, I don't care. If a white guy was shot, nobody'd care. Well, I think the family would care and some of the neighbors, but they wouldn't go out looting and stealing and breaking windows and tearing up businesses in white neighborhoods, would they? I mean, there's this whole background of the United States that says, you know what, there is a division here. I mean, psychologists and sociologists know this. Sociologists know this, and psychiatry knows this, and all of there is a division in the United States between people, regardless of their religion, regardless of their color. It doesn't matter. There is a division, and that division is based on what? Ego. Simply ego. Has nothing to do with logic, has nothing to do with the practicalities of how to live in your own neighborhood with various people from all walks of life. Has nothing to do with that. That's the pie in the sky goal, but it's never going to happen because there's always going to be division in this whole system that we have here. And we can see this by the examples given in the news, the most sensationalized story. Okay, so sensationalize the negative, put a spin on it, make it what it is, and then control what people hear and see. Interesting. Straight out of 1984, apparently. I'll be back right after this. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce from The Views Expressed. Please come join me on The Views Express Live, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Come join Reverend Wayne S. Pierce on The Views Expressed Monday through Friday at 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern on Spreaker.com.
For all you independent artists, musicians, and filmmakers, there is a place for you. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Go to radiorocktheblitz.blogspot.com.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
You're listening to the Free America Radio Network. Hey, welcome back. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast right here for the 11th of August, 2014. I hope you're doing okay for this Monday because, well, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of things going on, and I suppose, just suppose, somebody with a brain can actually figure this out and get some solutions going. But you see, it's never going to come to a perfect end. You know, Hamas wants to come to the United States and destroy it and raise their flag over the White House. The Islamic jihadists are all going to get together. They're all part of the same group, folks. Taliban, Al-Qaeda, you name it. They're all part of the same group. They want to destroy freedom and liberty with all of our allies and the United States, and they want to come here and destroy us. So I think we need to build the immovable wall of people, and I believe that we need to do what we must to protect our country. I know I've heard people tell me that violence begets violence and it serves no purpose in the end. Well, that's absolutely true. I'm not going to deny that. But when you have a group of people wanting to kill you and literally declaring war against you, your freedoms, your religion, and everything else, kind of makes a person, raise an eyebrow, like, what the hell is this all about? So as far as I'm concerned, we need to defend ourselves, folks. Get your ass up and do what you must, and do it now. I'm not kidding. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm using a general statement of, get up. This is no joke, folks. But if you just want to sit around and eat your damn potato chips and watch your damn Honey Boo Boo and all that bull crap, then you just go right ahead. If you want to believe Snopes.com, you go right ahead. They're a bunch of BS artists that are just going to spin the news to sell a website or sell space on a website. Doesn't really matter. I give it to you plain and simple. And let me use an analogy or a metaphor here. Not an analogy, but a metaphor. You're walking down the street, you see you're texting because you think that's more important. You're crossing the street in a crosswalk texting someone, and you think that's more important than looking at your environment to, make sure you're safe and make sure you're getting to where you need to go and all this. And a big old truck turns the corner and damn near hits you. What are you going to do? Yell at the truck driver for not seeing you? No. Get your damn head and hands off your stupid cell phone, cross that street the right way, like your mama taught you, and understand what's going on inside your environment. Or do you think that what's in your head and what's in your hands and texting and sending videos to people and all this is more important than your safety? Because if you think that, then you're a freaking moron. I'm going to tell it straight. I don't care who is offended. I'm an EOO, an equal opportunity offender. If you're offended, hey, I hope I make you think. Things are going on, folks, and you're sitting around thinking, well, we got football season coming up. We got. I wonder who's playing. And you guys are already making your bets on who's going to be in the Super Bowl next year. Are you out of your flippin' minds? You got your head so far up your ass that when you fart, you give yourself a migraine. What the hell's going on with you people? Yeah, it's a reproach. Yes, I'm digging into your own, lives and saying, can you not pay attention to what's going on? Well, obviously you're not, but can you get your head out of your bum for just a moment to see what the hell's going on? Yes. I've said it. What are you going to do about it? And believe me, I'm telling you right now, you don't have to go to anybody else to ask them about me. You need to hear what I'm about to say. If you disagree with me, that's fine. You can disagree with me all day long until the cows come home. Don't matter to me. But you better have the information to back it up, because if you don't, I'm not going to listen to 2 seconds of what you got to say. And don't give me this crap like, over here and this test. No. See, let me tell you a little something, folks. I used to be the type of person that would shove information in people's faces and say, here. You know what that information was? It was all the opposite negative information, and I tried to push it as being the truth. Well, guess what? That was over 25 years ago. I don't do that anymore. Because I had the proverbial rug pulled out from underneath me, and I did a faceplant in the concrete. Want that for a metaphor? Check that out. I had an epiphany one day. You know those things where you get the chills all over your body, and you're like, oh my God, and everything becomes clear to you? This is what happened to me over 25 years ago. When I realized that the information that I was learning in high school was a bunch of bullcrap, that they were lying to me, and I began to do my own research by the time I got out of high school and figured out one thing. We got a shadow government running the whole ball game, folks. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Imagine it as the NFL, a nonprofit organization. Yes, go look it up. The NFL is a nonprofit organization. And they have 16, 20, 25 teams, whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not into those statistics. But you've got one company with many different teams that come along and battle one another and win. And at the end of the year, in the Super Bowl, you get one ultimate winner in the whole campaign. Now think about this, folks. You've got a massive group of people operating in the shadows, taking each and every little thing that we do and trying to control it to try to push this aside, bring that forward, all this, and there's only going to be one ultimate winner in all of this. And it's not going to be you and I, folks. But we can change that. We understand that. We can rip away the veil to see who's pushing the buttons and pulling the handles, and we can tear that guy away from the controls, metaphorically speaking, rip apart this whole system and this whole paradigm and understand that it's all one and the same. You don't have political parties. They're both teams controlled by an owner, and they fight for dominance. And guess what? There's distractions on the side of this field that people are looking at. Honey Boo Boo, all these reality shows, blah, 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 blah. And that's what the press is doing. Your state-run media is showing you all the distractions, not what's actually happening on the field. And guess what? We're suffering for it. Get your head out of your ass and look what's going on around you. Okay? It is one of those things where you have to just imagine for yourself that you have a patriarch of your family. You have the mom and dad, the grandparents, who are talking to their kids, who you are talking to your kids, saying, and you're trying to get things in a more level, in a more workable way to establish certain things in your family. Are you not? Are you not? And imagine for a moment your family breaking down in those areas. Ultimately realizing that, hey, I think Grandpa was right. I think Grandma had the right idea. I think Mom and Dad had a few brain cells that actually worked, that knew what they were doing. And now you, with your kids, you're saying, hey, wait a minute. Holy crap, I'm my parent. Because you're doing exactly what your mom and dad, were training you to do. But you change a few things along the way. You adapt to your environment, but you bring into that environment those things which you would call your own traditions. Well, this is what's happened in America, folks, for over 238 years. A group of 3% of a group of people said, we're tired of King George. We're going to give him the massive bird and we're going to tell him to buzz off. And so they fought to establish freedom and liberty in a country that they were in and had been in for over, 150, 200 years at that point. So they told the British, up yours. Bugger off. Right? And the British are going, excuse me, we're going to come take your guns. So we're going to send the British Army over there? Well, 3% of the colonists here in the 13 colonies went, no, you're not. And 238 years later, we're fighting that same battle? Are you out of your flippin' minds? I heard it said that we have to totally abolish the Constitution, rewrite a new one, and establish a new country under a new Constitution. Well, let's see. Who can we use as an example of that? How about Iceland? Okay. Think about that one, folks. Think about that one. It's easy to criticize somebody who you believe is wrong. But it's hard to support somebody that you think is right because you have your own ideas on what is right and truthful. Don't you? I had someone tell me, well, I got facts too. Well, so do I. Do they line up with yours? Well, let's see. Oh, they don't, do they? You're wrong. Yeah. Has that ever happened to you? Has that ever happened to you? Have you gone to your friends and talked to them about something and they look at you going, do you have proof of that? And you show them the proof and they sit there going, oh, well, I don't want to see that. No. Here's what I'm going to show you and this is what. And it's ego, folks. It's ego. You bruised somebody else's ego. Okay? You bruised somebody else's ego. You've shattered their paradigm and they don't like it. So what do you do? What do you do? You take and you look at the facts. You rip away the veil. You see who's pushing the buttons and pulling the handles, and you go from there and you establish a new tradition, a new system that works, not one that is built upon ego, built upon media manipulation, built upon government intervention, or anything else for that matter. You build it on what is workable and what can work for others, allowing others to be who they are in this system, and putting up a wall against those that want to declare war on your religion or your liberties, and doing everything you can and must to defend yourself from those people trying to destroy you. Is that not the right thing to do? Seriously. Hey, I'm going to take a little break here in this segment. In the next segment, I'll come up. I'll give you some more news, or some news. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'll give you some news and tell you what's going on. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, and even if you do disagree with me, please email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. More than happy to hear from you. Please email me. Put in the subject line radio, so I know that so I know that you've heard this. So that's freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. Go to thewaynespearceshow.weebly.com. Check out the website as well, and you can also donate to the show. So I shall return right after this.
My name is Steve-O motherfucking Cash and I play guitar. I like skateboarding and snowboarding but never get far. I got a million video games and even more DVDs that I never watch or play because I hate my TV. I could buy a brand new car instead, I'm driving the Jeep. It's not because I ain't got money, it's cause I'm so damn cheap. I got a pretty little girlfriend and a great family too, and a little black cat, but I'll give them to you. I play the bass and drums and sing, I'm really just a big old geek. Baseball cards, playing golf, listening to punk rock, getting shoes, PSU, the stupid shit that I'm into. Mario and Pirate Flicks, practicing new magic tricks, staying up on my computer all night long. Carl's Jr., Taco Bell, McDonald's can go to hell. Snickers, Mars, black guitar, playing cool at redneck bars. Black bandanas, I hate these, camo shorts, and play my tees. That was just a little introduction to me.
With her unique, fast-paced, witty sarcasm, Angel Clark brings you the news of the day with a creative twist. Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern on radiofreedom.us. You can also listen to her live on the Liberty Radio Network at lrn.fm.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. Hold on tight. Get ready.
Hey, welcome back. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast right here for the 11th of August, 2014. How are you? Are you good? Are you smiling? Did you wake up, put your feet on the ground, look outside, and think the day was going to go really well? Well, I hope it is. Really. I hope it is. Hey, I hope you're having a great day because, that's what you need to do. Have a great day. Seriously. So many things going on in the news. Holy crap. So let's go take a look at a few of those things. Shall we? Right there. Go to the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page, if you will. And let me, oh my God, I got a whole bunch of stuff up there. There's a lot. There's just so much. I got activity on that page. I haven't loaded up that page with the articles that I wanted to. So let's go to Free America Radio on Facebook to see what I got on there. Coming up on the Views Expressed live today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. In 1776, citizens used assault weapons to gain their freedom from a tyrannical government. That is why we have a Second Amendment. Enough said there. From Brian Lang, actually from Fred Snyder. Freedom and Liberty, overpasses for America, extortion 17, look it up. And also from NBCnews.com, 5 Palestinians killed as Israeli-Hamas truce collapses. That was last week, as a matter of fact. That was over the weekend, actually. And also from abcnews.go.com, why John Kerry made a secret trip to Afghanistan. Well, to really support what was going on over there. Also, foxnews.com, 13 illegal immigrants arrested in California wearing U.S. Marine uniforms. There you go, folks, right there. That is one of the reasons why we have to close the damn border. Foxnews.com, Hamas backers spend fortunes on rockets and tunnels while Gazans live in misery. And I mentioned that last week on the Views Express Live. Folks, you might want to go check out those articles as well on your own. The aptitude of people. I mean, just think about that for a minute. The aptitude of people doesn't gain them any altitude in their life, doesn't gain them any positivity in their life if they are not understanding what's going on around them. Right? It just doesn't. So, anyway, hey, a show note. As I've probably mentioned before, Free America Radio Network is scaling back just a little bit. We're still going to give you, or I'm going to give you, all the truth, all the facts, all the news, all of that. We're scaling back just a little bit. Not a whole lot, but we still want to present to you. I say we, like there's a mouse in my pocket or something. I want to give to you what I give to you, and I want you to be a part of that. So if you have articles, blogs, websites, shows on Spreaker, shows on your own network, I can promote that for free. All of that for free. Absolutely not going to cost you a dime. All you have to do is send me your links, your podcasts, whatever it is, and I'll put them up on the website at freeamericaradio.us. Or if you want to share stuff, with me for this particular show, the Wayne S. Pierce Show, then send that to me as well. freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. And I'll if you have like a half hour or an hour podcast, I can play that on this show. Hey, bring it on. I want to hear what you have to say. Now, if you want to advertise for this show, you can do that. That's awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. But if you don't want to do that, that's okay too, because you can go to the WayneSPierceShow.weebly.com site. Scroll on down to the bottom, and there's a little donate button. You can donate as much as you can, and that will help out this show greatly. So thank you very much. If you want to sponsor, if you want to run some advertising on this show, please contact me. We can work something out. It's not going to break your budget, okay? So please email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. More than happy to answer any questions you have. If I don't know, I will tell you I don't know. It's simple as that. Okay. So freeamericaradio@usa.com. Also, you can help out Free America Radio Network by going to freeamericaradio.us. Go to the top of the page and click Emergency Food Supply. Check all that out as well. And you're not only going to be helping out your family, you're going to be helping Free America Radio Network share the truth one fact at a time. And again, if you want to donate or sponsor the show, on Free America Radio Network or the Views Express Live or this particular show as well, you can definitely do that. All you have to do is ask, and we'll work something out. Free America Radio at USA.com. Free America Radio at USA.com. Not, hey, all you got to do is ask. You'll never know if you don't. So there you go. Free America Radio at USA.com. What does it take for a people to finally say enough is enough? Huh, interesting. Huh? Really? What does it take? I don't know. I have no clue. But I think when people feel they've been enslaved enough is when they're going to fight back. A question was raised to me as well about slavery back, years and years and years and centuries ago. And the question was asked, why didn't the slaves just, get all together and go and fight their way out of slavery? Well, there was, I don't know why, but there was certain things in place where they couldn't do this. But let me remind you all that it just wasn't blacks that were enslaved. It was Asians, Chinese. It was Chinese, basically, particularly, and also white folk were enslaved. So don't think it's just one race that was enslaved. History won't tell you about the other ones. We had Indians. We had Mexicans, we had Asians, we had blacks, we had whites, you name it. They were enslaved. Seriously. They were enslaved. So history's not going to tell you that. But anyway, what is it going to take for people to finally get pissed off enough to say, you know what, I'm done? And we have a duty as citizens of the United States under the Declaration of Independence and under the Constitution of the United States to say, we don't like this government, we're going to change it. And we have that duty and obligation to do so. And our rights are protected to do that. Believe me, go look it up. Go read the Declaration of Independence. Go read the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Believe me, we can do this. So anyway, getting on to some more news. Almost sound like Ted Knight there on Ted Baxter on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Violence erupts after black teen shot by police in Missouri. I told you that in the beginning of the show. TV van attacked, looting, ATM stolen from Quick Trip store, torch, tanks brought in. Men stand guard outside their liquor store. Trayvon Martin attorney to represent slain teen. Oh boy, here we go again. But let me give you this piece of information from thegatewaypundit.com. Ferguson erupts. Protesters attack police cars, loot and torch Quick Trip following teen killing. Shots fired. Update. Rioting spreads to Delwood. Okay. Just an amazing bunch. It's a complete example of society breaking down and stupidity ruling. Okay. KTVI reports there are unconfirmed reports of looting and protesters damaging police cars in Ferguson shortly before 8:30 p.m. Sunday night. Shortly before 8:30 p.m. Sunday night, vehicles at the intersection sustained damage allegedly from protesters near West Florissant and Ferguson Avenue. A large crowd had gathered at the intersection when trouble broke out. Passenger vehicles and police cruisers were damaged. There are also unconfirmed reports that Quick Trip is being damaged. Police have responded with additional officers called to the scene. There's a huge piece of military equipment in this picture. I will put this up on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page. You should see this. Police rolled out armored vehicles to contain the violence. Anonymous said this. Vehicles like this one and the mentality of the police in Ferguson are displaying are about instilling fear in people. And that's true. Another Twitter comment, men have pulled a truck up to the QT, Quick Trip, and are loading the ATM in the back. Okay. I mean, that's bus stops. There's a video of a bus stop being damaged. Somebody's throwing a garbage can into the window trying to... It's just stupidity. Stupidity, stupidity. That's all it is. There's tanks rolling in, and it says here, the St. Louis Journal tweeted, looks like tanks are coming into Illinois, whatever that is. And we got tanks, folks. Please be careful. Tanks. This is unconfirmed, by the way. I'm just telling you. But you can go to St. Louis Journal to find out. A commenter here on the article, and let me put this up on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page right now, so that I won't forget, because I will forget. No. A commenter here says, yeah, makes sense to me. You think that there is some injustice, and first thing you do is equalize the situation is to loot a grocery store. 45% of black babies are aborted. Most gun murders by blacks are against blacks. Blacks think white people cause all their problems when they need to look in the mirror at themselves. See a pattern? They are their own worst enemy. Until they realize that, they will never achieve what they want. This is, and I can't agree more, and I'll tell you why. Because the whites are the same way. I'm a white guy. You know, I'm not going to attack anybody else unless I'm just not going to attack. I'm going to defend myself as much as I possibly can to survive. But if riots break out, I'm not going to go down to my local Quick Stop or my local convenience store and break out windows and do that kind of stupid crap. Okay, this is just absolutely idiotic. They just want to tear crap up. That's all they want to do. They just want to tear it up. They want to destroy it. They don't care. Okay, they're going to steal ATMs, they're going to steal money, they're going to steal food. Why? Because they're going to, and they're going to come back and blame it on the white guy. Okay? Now, I know black people who will stand up in front of their store and say, not here, buddy boy. This ain't happening here. You're not going to tear my store up. I know black people like that. They've worked hard for what they wanted, and they stand on what they believe, and they look at their fellow black man, their people, and they say, no, we're not going to do this. We're not gonna listen to this music and dance to the tune. You know what I mean? So I know black people who are not the rioters and all this. These are just complete and absolute morons in Ferguson, Missouri, that are going out and tearing up their city. Okay? So get that out there. Another commenter to the comment I just read to you said, this is the reaction of uncivilized people. Look at Africa. They destroyed Motown, Detroit. Yeah, look at Detroit, folks. Prime example. Now St. Louis is Detroit of the Mississippi River. Most wild animals know not to crap where they live and eat, but not these two-legged ones. They have much to learn. And he goes on to say, this commenter goes on to say, I don't know if it's a he or she, this commenter says, me thinks that this is also a setup for days to come. Obama and Holder's people getting ready to loot and riot. We had over a dozen riots Memorial Weekend. We have knockout games. We have black youth flash mobs. And Obama says nothing. Here is a link to Memorial Riots, theamericanthinker.com. He put that link up. And someone else said, you're right. They should only riot when something important happens, like your team losing or winning the finals, like white people do. Yes, that's happened in Canada. Remember last year? Hello? Remember in, yeah. So I'm not saying the white people are innocent because they do the same thing. Okay, again, I'm white. I don't go out and riot because my team loses. Why? It's stupid, okay? When you get so emotionally driven by a situation that your ego takes over and you start destroying or crapping in the place that you live and eat, then you got a serious freaking problem, people. Okay? And it goes on and on and on. And you can read the comments on your own. I mean, it's just, oh my God, this thing is just, it's incredible. It's incredible. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. Why are people being stupid? Okay. Why are people being stupid? That's a good question. Okay. And here's something else that you should be concerned for. From the Washington Post, fighters abandoning Al-Qaeda affiliates to join Islamic State, U.S. officials say. Because the Islamic State is being decimated by U.S. allies. Because we're beating the crap out of them, and they know it. And then, of course, your state-run media is going to spin that and say, oh, no, they're growing, and no. U.S. spy agencies have begun to see groups of fighters abandoning al-Qaeda affiliates in Yemen and Africa to join the rival Islamist organization that has seized territory in Iraq and Syria and been targeted in American airstrikes, U.S. officials say. The movements are seen by U.S. counterterrorism analysts as a worrisome indication of the expanding appeal of a group known as the Islamic State that has overwhelmed military forces in the region and may now see itself in direct conflict with the United States. Quote, small groups from a number of al-Qaeda affiliates have defected to ISIS, unquote, as the group is also known, said a U.S. official with access to classified intelligence assessments. Can you say whistleblower? Quote, and this problem will probably become more acute as ISIS continues to rack up victories, unquote. The influx has strengthened an organization already regarded as a menacing force in the Middle East, one that has toppled a series of Iraqi cities by launching assaults so quickly and in so many different directions, that security forces caught in the group's path have so far been unable to respond with anything but retreat. U.S. officials attribute the Islamic State's rapid emergence to factors both psychological and tactical. Its core group of fighters honed their skills against the armies of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and the United States when it occupied Iraq. The group has used raids and ransoms to stockpile weapons and cash, and its merciless reputation triggered rampant defections among Sunni members of Iraq's security forces, already disenchanted with the Shiite-led government in Baghdad. So there you go. Breakdown in government causes people to come together and say, screw you. Well, what about the United States of America, people? This regime is backing these sick, twisted freaks. Okay? So what are we going to do about it? We just going to sit here and let it happen? Or are we going to sit here and let ISIS come to our borders? Actually, they are through the Mexican border. Did you know that? We have Al-Qaeda and all sorts. We have a bunch of terrorists coming over here and localizing themselves in your city called domestic street gangs. Get your head out of your ass. It's time you understand what's going on, and it's time you wake the hell up now. Okay? I'm putting a warning out there, folks. I'm putting the warning out there right now. Let me continue with this and give you some more insight from this. Even before its assault on the Kurdish territories in northern Iraq this month, analysts said that the Islamic State had shown an almost impulsive character in its pursuit of territory and recruits, with little patience for the elaborate and oftentimes consuming terror plots favored by al-Qaeda. In other words, you know what that means? That means they're not going to go, well, we need to go recruit here and we need to go to this region and try to talk people into joining our group. This is what they used to do. This Al-Qaeda was funded by the CIA, folks. It was created by the military-industrial complex because that process comes straight out of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire was bored one day and said, well, let's go burn down a building and blame it on our enemies. Hello? Can you say false flag? Yeah, there you go. And that's what they're doing. So they're not going to, say, well, we're going to do the... No. You know what ISIS is doing? They're going, we've got the, military might behind us. We got the weapons. We've got the strategy. We know how to do this tactically. So let's just go rush the enemy, their enemy, and do what they have to do. Well, hey, that's what they're doing, folks. Continuing, counterterrorism analysts at the CIA and other agencies have so far seen no indication that an entire al-Qaeda node or any of its senior leaders are prepared to switch sides. But officials said they have begun watching for signs of such a development. folks, they're just looking at their own team and looking at the people defecting to another team that they control. That's all it is, folks. The launching of U.S. airstrikes has raised new questions, including whether the bombings will hurt the Islamic State's ability to draw recruits or elevate its status among jihadists. Quote, does that increase the spigot or close it, unquote, said a senior U.S. counterterrorism official who, like others, spoke on the condition of anonymity and noted that U.S. military operations in Afghanistan and elsewhere have crippled al-Qaeda, but also served as a rallying cry against the United States. Remember the football analogy? NFL owns all the teams, and all the teams are fighting amongst one another for dominance. Pretty much that's what it is, folks. Pretty much. Continuing, long-term U.S. officials express concern that the Islamic State, which so far has been focused predominantly on its goal of reestablishing an Islamic caliphate, Glenn Beck talked about that about 4 years ago, may now place greater emphasis on carrying out attacks against the United States and its allies. President Obama was careful to depict the strikes as part of a humanitarian mission to protect endangered Iraqis, including members of a Christian sect encircled with scant supplies on a northern Iraq mountaintop. Obama also referred to the presence of U.S. personnel in the region and stopped short of authorizing a border assault against the Islamic State because he's funding them. He's Muslim. Don't give me this crap that he isn't. Go look at his history. He's Muslim. He's also a communist. Go look at his family tree. By the way, he's also a Manchurian candidate propped up by his grandparents. Go look at them. It's real easy, folks. All the information is out there. And don't believe those people that say, see, everything on the internet. You can't believe everything on the internet. Well, then don't use the internet, dumbass. Go elsewhere. There's a big building in your city called a library. A whole bunch of books there. Go check it out. Continuing. Still, the strikes triggered widespread calls for retaliation among militant groups online. A prominent figure on a well-known jihadist forum, and I'm not even going to try to mention his name or give him credit, wrote Friday that the airstrikes should prompt fighters to unite against the United States. Quote, the Mujahideen must strike and seek to execute proactive operations in their own home, America, to discipline America and its criminal soldiers, unquote. Remember the Mujahideen. That's a hard word to say. Mujahideen? Guess what? CIA put them together. There you go. Go check it out. Go check it out. And don't believe Snopes.com. They're a bunch of BS. The jihadist, I'm not going to mention his name either, wrote, according to the site Intelligence Group, which monitors militant postings. This is what they said. That's what they said. The Mujahideen must strike and seek to execute proactive operations in their own home, America, to discipline America and its criminal soldiers, unquote. U.S. officials said the defections to the Islamic State have come primarily from al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, the Yemen-based group that has launched several bombing plots targeting the United States. And al-Qaeda is the Islamic, I can't pronounce that word either, Maghreb, which had seized territory in northern Mali before facing strikes carried out by France last year. Quote, it's not to the point where it's causing splintering within the affiliates, unquote, said the senior U.S. counterterrorism official. But the defections have accelerated in recent months, officials say, and also involve fighters from groups in Libya and elsewhere that are not formally part of al-Qaeda. Again, al-Qaeda, CIA. U.S. officials estimate that the Islamic State has many as 10,000 fighters, including 3,000 to 5,000 from countries beyond its base in Iraq and Syria. Its ranks have swelled with the emergence of civil war in Syria, a country relatively easy to reach from both in the Middle East and Europe, as a larger magnet of jihadis than Afghanistan or Iraq were. The group also attracted critical support from disenfranchised Sunni residents in Mosul and other Iraqi cities, citizens who have lost patience with the government of Iraqi President Nouri al-Maliki but may not embrace the hardline agenda of the Islamic State. The group has not been linked to any known plot against the United States, but Director of National Intelligence James R. Clapper Jr. testified in January that the group, quote, does have aspirations for attacks on the homeland, unquote. Excuse me. U.S. officials have said about 100 Americans have either traveled to Syria or tried to. Among them was a former Florida resident, Moner Mahab Absul, I don't know how to pronounce that, some American who abdicated and went over there, who returned undetected to the United States for several months this year before departing again for Syria and detonating a suicide bomb. Abu Salha was not tied to the Islamic State, but officials believe that as many as a dozen Americans have linked up with the group. The Islamic State traces its origin to Al-Qaeda, see, told you, in Iraq, but broke from the terrorist group this year after being criticized for its tactics, including the slaughter of civilians and refusing instructions to cede the fight in Syria to a separate Al-Qaeda ally known as al-Nusra. Folks, they're all connected. Right there, they're all connected, period. End of sentence. And guess who's funding them? Hello? Look in the mirror. Since then, the Islamic State has amassed arms, cash, fighters, territory at a breaking rate. In July, the group's leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, took the pulpit at the largest mosque in Mosul, declaring himself the caliph of the Muslim world and urging followers to flock to his organization. In doing so, Baghdadi fulfilled an ambition articulated by his predecessor, Abu Musab al-Zakari, who was killed by U.S. forces in Iraq in 2006. It also marked a significant departure from the Al-Qaeda playbook. In other words, separating themselves from, you get it, right? Al-Qaeda's commander in Yemen, Nasir al-Wahashi, has written letters to subordinates cautioning against prematurely declaring Islamic rule even in small villages, in part out of fear that failing to hold territory or enforce Islamic law would lead the group to lose face with the local population. Well, he's right about that one. Baghdadi's lack of restraint appears to have expanded his appeal, according to the U.S. officials who said the group's expanding territory, aggressive reputation, and roster of experienced fighters account for its momentum. Quote, they are demonstrating just how advantageous it is to a terrorist insurgent group to be fighting in the field for years and years, as they have been in Iraq and Syria, unquote, said Daniel Benjamin, a professor at Dartmouth University, who previously served as the top counterterrorism official at the State Department. Quote, their skill at maneuver is really kind of extraordinary compared to groups you would compare them. Their skill at maneuver is really kind of extraordinary compared to groups you would compare them to, unquote, including Al-Qaeda's affiliate in Yemen, Mali, Benjamin said. Quote, they are not constrained by that fear of failure other Al-Qaeda groups have shown, unquote, he added, or the group's tendency to, quote, spend years preparing single attacks, unquote. Julie Tate contributed to this report, which was written by Greg Miller as well for TheWashingtonPost.com. I give them all the credit. I'm just giving my opinion as well on this. And that is this, folks. My opinion is this. Take a look. Just examine for a minute. Just examine for a minute the overall tactics that this group is using to decimate large areas of real estate where they are at. There's got to be something behind them that gives them the power to do so, and the money, and the resources, and all of that. And I think it's linked in some way, shape, or form back to Benghazi. But, so, the There was something else I wanted to put here too. I wanted to talk about the well, I've only got a few minutes. I just noticed the time. So let me say this. Come join me on the Views Expressed Live today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Free America Radio Network. And I'll talk more about a lot of stuff. Okay, just a lot. There's a lot to consider as well, folks, because your freedoms, your liberties, specifically in the United States of America, is being decimated by a communist regime that is currently in the White House. Now, some people would say, well, he's not communist, blah, blah, blah. Well, you got to give him credit for this. And no, I don't have to give him credit for crap. Okay? I don't have to give this regime credit for anything because they decimated the Constitution. They decimated the economy. They decimated, entrepreneurship. In our cities. They've decimated this whole country under their rule of law. And their rule of law is basically this: control everything. We're going to nationalize everything. We're going to socialize the process, and that's just the way it is. And they're Marxist, communist, socialist, fascist pigs. And a bastard thinks he's going to sit up there in his White House thinking it's his, which it isn't. It's ours. And guess what? In 2016, I have heard, I don't have any verification on this, I have heard that the Bilderberg Group has gave blessings and their support to Hillary. Okay, I don't have any verification on that as of yet. So, I'm just saying, the 2016 presidential election and all that, elections don't matter. They've already picked their leader in 2016. They already have. It's already there. If it's Hillary, great. Not great, but if it's Hillary, if it's Christie, if it's Cruz, if it's whoever, they've already got them picked out. We just don't know who it is yet. Okay? So anyway, how can people sit back and watch their own homes, their country that they live in, be decimated by a bunch of spineless rats in Congress? Because they're the ones that tell the president, whoa, you can't do this. Guess what? Congress is irrelevant, according to the president. He's got a pen and a phone. Well, I'd like to shove that pen and phone up, someplace where the sun don't shine. And literally, he's got a problem. He's a freaking psychopath. Literally, go look up the definition of what a psychopath is. He's a freaking psychopath. He's going to do everything to decimate this country further to hand it over to his bosses. That's just the way it is. He wasn't elected, folks. That the office of the president was purchased. Yes, purchased, as well as all the other congressmen's offices and all that. And of course, every single politician up there in Washington, D.C. is controlled. That's just the way it is. It's been that way for many, 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 many years, and that's just the way it is. But we can change that. We, the people, can change that. Folks, come join me on the Views Express Live today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on Free America Radio. Go to freeamericaradio.us. Freeamericaradio.us is the website to listen to the show. Or if you are on Spreaker, you can go to Free America Radio Network and join me in the chat room there during the live broadcast and tell me what's on your mind as well. And more podcasts coming up. Stay tuned, of course, to Free America Radio Network. Go to freeamericaradio.us. And also this show, The Wayne S. Pierce Show.weebly.com. And, hey, folks, I'll talk to you later on the Views Express Live at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Free America Radio Network.
Goodbye now. Goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye.
Well, goodbye. And don't think it hasn't been a little slice of heaven, because it hasn't.
One more year. Have a nice trip, Bella.